I made a um, pretty tough goal revenue wise in terms of how by that date. And we hit it like 4 days early, and then we surpassed it by like, 8%. So that's just one aspect of the pie, but all of that happened, and I was engaged with my family and traveling the country, and we were doing life experiences that, when you have little kids, you want to create memories for them, and
Yeah.
you want to create memories for yourself. And sometimes you're doing stuff, and our kids are so little, they won't even remember this stuff, but I'll remember that they remembered it, or I'll remember how they acted. And that's more important than any revenue goal or anything like that. So it was really cool that I was able to do all of that at one time.
All right. We got a client interview today with my client, Greg. I'm super pumped to dive into this one. Greg, thanks for jumping on, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. So we were talking about this, but basically, the goal for today is hear about your story going through the program. And my hope is that somebody who's listening to this can like connect with it and take that next step. So,
Absolutely.
first question is tell us who you are, what do you do, and where do you live?
My name is Greg. I live just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in Fort Mill, South Carolina. I own a residential replacement window business, been in business for almost 10 years now.
Nice.
Been married for 7 years. I have three small children, ages 6, 4, and 2. And I'm just doing, the dad life and the business owner life all into one.
Absolutely. And that's what like, we connected on originally. So, what was it? Actually, no, my first question is how
Yeah.
did you hear about me and Driven Dadpreneur initially?
Well, just like a lot of people, I assume I was messing around on my phone on Instagram one night, probably watching TV or monotonously scrolling. And then I get this ad that says Dadrepreneur. And I was like, what's this? And it was talking about how, are you a business owner with small children and married, and your life is chaotic, and you need something to streamline processes, and does that sound like it would help you? And I was like, am I being big brothered here? Like, this was created for me. So I
Yeah.
clicked on it and then started talking to you back and forth, and then here we are 6 months later.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just remember like the first conversations and the first call, it felt like you just really resonated with that message. And I remember the first question that I asked you is like, so what was like what's going on with like dad life and business life? And you're like, it's just chaos. And I
Yeah.
hear that all the time. So yeah, like tell me a little bit more about like what were some of the things that you were struggling with the growing business, with the young kids that made you want to reach out for coaching?
Yeah, so it was, I mean, looking back on it from about 6 months ago, it seemed like what I did every day was I would somewhat plan the next day, but it seems like I would wake up and just handle whatever needed to be handled that day. And
Hmm.
I'd always feel kind of bad about, am I doing a good job being a dad and a husband? And, is that taking away from how my business is run? But then when I take, it was always a juggling act that I just never felt like I was winning.
Mm.
Always felt like I was like treading water. So um, everything that I saw with Dadpreneur just resonated with me. Like, yeah, that seems like exactly what I needed. And I'm always a little hesitant with Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that because you think things are a scam, right?
Yeah,
You totally don't know what you're signing up for, or anything like that. But I'm so glad that I did, because it's not, and you're legit, and you you are who you say you are, and you do what you say you do. So it's yeah, it's everything about it just resonated with me, and I'm glad that I signed up 6 months ago.
nice, man. Um, what like how was some of like the chaos and overwhelm and stuff like impacting you either on like a daily basis? Like what were some of those things that you were like, man, like I know like I need some help here. Like was there anything specifically that came
Yeah,
up?
it was my mindset. A lot of it was I didn't realize that I could become my own worst enemy, and it could, with my thought processes and what I thought about and what I was thinking about, if you let that get away from you and you don't realize it and know what you're thinking about and why you're thinking about it, it could take over. And then before you know it, it's the end of the day, and you're like, what
Yeah.
did I just do? Like what just happened today? I was just, thinking and letting my mind go crazy all day. And then it's 6 o'clock at night, you get home and all you're doing is still thinking about what you were thinking about before, and you're not engaged with your family. So
Yeah.
that chaos, and you don't even know, the tricky part is I didn't even really know that I was doing that until
Mm.
I realized I was doing that
Yeah.
after talking to you. But it's the mind is powerful, and
Yeah.
we have control of it, which is super cool.
Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things I've seen you. We were just talking about this. Get so much better at recognizing when you
Mhm.
are your own worst enemy and like using the tools to work through it. And that's been really cool. One of the things I wanted to ask about, because I know a big reason why you joined was like you've got the growing business, and I think you had expanding locations.
Mhm.
Then you've got the young kids, but then your wife also had something really important going on that put more pressure on you at home. So can you talk about that and how that
Absolutely,
factored
yeah,
into?
yeah. So that was all very crazy too. So my wife actually competed for Mrs. South Carolina, and she won.
Let's
And
go.
I,
Which makes you Mr. South Carolina. Is that right?
that's the South Carolina flag right there, but
Let's
yeah,
go.
I guess that is correct. But all of this happened, and I'm very faith-based, try to be very faith-based human being. And there's no mistakes or there's no things that happen by coincidence. Coincidence is a word
Yeah.
that I try not to use anymore. Um,
Yeah.
but all of this happened. I met you and talked to you before that happened, like right before that happened,
Oh, okay.
right? And
Yeah.
and and she was competing for this, and I told you about it when we first like started talking. And I
Yeah.
remember texting you, dude, she just won Mrs. South Carolina. So all of this, I had already met with you and had these started to get these systems lined up, and it couldn't have come at a better time in my family's life because had I had I had all of that stuff happen with the expanding locations and opening up another location and my wife doing this and my kids, one of my kids started kindergarten, like all of this stuff, I would have drowned, man.
Mm.
Or if I got through it, it wouldn't have been as successful as it was for the last several months. But these systems that we got in place um, gave me a great foundation to plan and build
Yeah.
and navigate through things so that when I looked forward to the next 3 months when my wife actually had to compete in the Mrs. America contest in late August, I remember meeting with you in late May, early June, saying like, "What?" And I had to hire
How
a
am I
new
going to do this?
person. Yeah, I had to hire
Yeah.
a new person and change that structure too. So it was a lot. But I remember late May, early June, sitting down with you and making these goals. And I had done something similar before, but nothing that in depth. Um,
Mm.
and I we just went over those the other day. All those goals we made green and put check boxes next to because we literally did and completed and hit every single goal on that list, which, you know, is amazing.
Yeah. So that was honestly so cool to just
Yeah.
see literally every area, business,
Everything was green.
revenue,
Yep.
hitting it, hiring, hitting it, you kind of removing yourself, hitting it, your workouts, hitting it, being there for
Yep.
your wife, all of that.
Everything.
So, as you kind of reflect on it, what were some of the most beneficial aspects from the program and from like the coaching process that helped you get those results?
The foundational stuff that I learned in the beginning, where the habit tracker, like the habit
Yeah.
tracker, is just something that is second nature to me now, and
Yeah.
it's such a little easy thing to do.
Hmm.
But I look and I see all my checks. There's something that happens to my mind where I'm like, I'm doing good. Um,
Yeah.
you know, um, and just the saboteur conversation that we had and learning about you're thinking something and it's this category. Why is it
Yeah.
this category? How what is it true? And then, can you do anything about it? Right.
Yeah.
And that's very helpful.
Hmm.
Because it's just, you go through your whole life and you kind of don't learn the mental of all those thoughts and you start learning it and it's pretty cool to put in place and apply.
Yeah. And I think that's where, because we started with just helping you implement that daily like operating system. And
Right.
that I think is what got you out of the chaos into more progress and clarity. And then helped you work through like the negative thinking patterns so that you could just operate and make decisions at a higher level. And then we started to figure out where did your business need to be, 3 to 6 months from now.
Mhm.
And then we worked backwards from that, right?
Right.
So it was
Right.
kind of like it seemed like those were the three main aspects that helped you.
Yeah, totally. And the foundational stuff in the beginning, getting set up with that stuff, once you get that in place, I feel all the other stuff is just the next step and next level, and you already have that foundation set so that you're ready to move forward and hit all these goals that you create for yourself.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious for you, like how did you need to evolve? Because in the beginning you were just like I remember, working super early in the morning, working late at night,
Mhm.
and then once we kind of set those goals and you realized you had to be spend more time with family too,
Mhm.
how did you need to change and how did you change as like a CEO through the process?
Well, you had to, instead of working so hard in the business 24/7, doing all the tasks that are important, I handed the majority of that stuff off, and I did it systematically, to where I don't need to pull every little lever and do every little thing,
Yeah.
even though it's still hard for me to give up that control.
Yes.
It's refreshing to know that when I hand the ball off to my teammates, sometimes they do a better job than me. Sometimes
Yeah.
they're more thorough than me, and
Yeah.
they've created their own little fingerprint of how to do stuff. That's maybe a little more efficient than what I was
Yeah.
doing. So
Yeah.
I've handed a lot off because I couldn't work a lot over the last 3 months as much as I used to because of all the family obligations and my wife traveling around all over the country with my family. Um, I had to have a lot of trust in my team, and the results were amazing.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Like what were some of the results that you feel like you're the most proud of from this process?
The results are putting more responsibility on my team and having them do it successfully. Like I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
I knew they could do it, and I'm not really sure why I didn't give up some control of that earlier. Um,
Mm,
wish I would have done it earlier. But
yeah.
it's really nice to know that I don't have to absolutely inundate myself in the business every moment of the day, all day, and it still runs really good without me. Even better, maybe. I won't say that.
Yeah.
But it's nice. I was able to, in late August, early September, I was able to take a week and go to Las Vegas with my family to support my wife. And then right after that, we came back and went to Hilton Head. So I literally, and then the week before that, my wife was gone for a week. So I was basically on dad duty for a week. So I had like 3 weeks to a month there where I didn't really work like I was used to working for the last 9 years. And the results and how my team produced and the turnaround for things, they did better than if I would have been here. The revenue that we generated, the goals that we hit.
Yeah.
I made a um, pretty tough goal revenue wise in terms of how by that date, and we hit it like 4 days early, and then we surpassed it by like 8%. So that's just one one aspect of the pie, but all of that happened, and I was engaged with my family and traveling the country, and we were doing life experiences that when you have little kids, you want to create memories for them, and
Yeah.
you want to create memories for yourself. And sometimes you're doing stuff, and our kids are so little they won't even remember this stuff, but I'll remember that they remembered it, or I'll remember how they acted, and that's more important than any revenue goal or anything like that. So it was really cool that I was able to do all of that at one time.
That's that's what was so cool is because I remember you talking about on our first call how important it was going to be for you to focus on your family and support Julie through her big event.
Hmm.
And then I just knew how important that event was to your family for a
Hmm.
lifelong memories.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that you were able to be there for those lifelong memories and your team hit the revenue goal and exceeded it while you were working less, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's humbling. Very humbling because, I'm thankful that I met you and we've been able to work together. Because, as I said before, God has a plan for everything, and this was supposed to happen. This was
You,
supposed to happen, and I'm glad I got out of my own way
mm,
let God work in our lives.
how have you grown in your faith through the process?
I got baptized.
Yeah.
2 weeks after I started this program. Like I mean, all of this. It's like I waited 40 plus years to do everything, to do things the right way. But my faith has grown tremendously. I've gotten much more involved with my church. We host events for the church now. We're in a life group. My wife and I just
Yes.
jumped in completely, both feet, and um, I'm really thankful that, during this time of life and in our country and everything that's going on, that we have our faith.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how you would get through it without it, really. I
Yeah.
don't see an alternative. This is
Yeah.
just a much better way of living, in my opinion.
Well, definitely. I don't know how people go through business or entrepreneurship without faith as
Right.
like a foundation. Like I just view those so much as connected, right?
Totally.
Because it's so hard, so challenging that you need to put your faith in something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
And that's just been cool because that's been a good foundation for us as we're having these conversations too. So, as you're just reflecting on it, how have you changed as a person through this process?
I feel I've learned myself a little better. Um, a lot better. I just feel like I've learned who I am, what I stand for. Um, it's almost like I have my own mission statement now.
Mm,
I feel more confident that I know who I am and where I'm going, more than I ever have before. And it's not even close. Like it's I think with life and in business with family, you can get carried away and it just goes by you. And
hmm.
there's not a lot of time for reflection, or you'll second guess yourself a lot. But when you have a good foundation of faith and morals and being somewhat humble at times,
Yeah.
good things happen. And you know when you know yourself like that, it's powerful.
Mm, that's so cool. I was listening to our first call right before this, and one of the things that you said, I don't know if you remember this, is you um you felt like from the outside looking in, like you checked all of the boxes.
Yeah,
Do you remember this? But then
totally.
you felt like it didn't feel like success.
Felt like I was faking it. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but now, how do you feel now?
Confident. Like I am, I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm,
And I know that I'm living how I'm supposed to be living. Am I perfect? No. But I know
yeah,
that um my heart, my head is in the right spot. And I'm trying. And I'm there for my family. And uh
let's go.
yeah, I just
That,
don't feel I feel more authentic now.
mm,
I feel like I'm my authentic self, and I feel like I'm checking all the boxes, but I feel like
yeah,
that's good for me. It doesn't really matter what everybody else.
yeah. It's like you now have the success and the fulfillment.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's been so cool. And so you also decided to keep going with the process for
I did.
another year. So why did you decide after just making all of this progress, kind of having these tools, why'd you decide to keep moving forward for the next year?
Well, this is something life, you know, this isn't a period at the end of the sentence. This you keep going. So with all of these things and how much I've grown in the last 6 months, I I can't imagine the possibilities in the next year. So I'm excited. I'm excited because I over the last 6 months we have the results, we have the plans, we have um, you know, the experience. Now we
Yeah.
have a year, so I'm ready to go. Let's
Yeah.
start going.
Yeah, it's time to just make these identity shifts even deeper and
Yeah.
then just, continue to grow as your business grows. And as your business grows, there's always different challenges, just like we were talking about right before this
Yeah.
call. Like you need to expand as your business expands. And
Yeah.
you've been so fun to work with, man. I've just had so much fun. Every single call, you make me laugh. And that's one of the things that I think is really special about you that I love, which is like, yeah, you're doing hard things. You've got this big business, you've got all these things going on, but to have fun and joy in the process, like really, I think that's really special. So,
Yeah. I've
one
had a
last
lot of fun.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any advice for somebody who's kind of on the fence or thinking about it, or if you were to talk to yourself 6 months ago, what would you say?
Do it. This is all of these things that are coming together in your life. If you have a question about it, if you're struggling to, if you think that there is such thing as work-life balance and that's a real thing, click the button. Talk to Mario. Talk to Mario. It's a systems program and it's dedicating 100% to what you've planned for. But if any of this stuff resonates with you, I can speak from absolute 100% experience. Do it. The rewards and how you feel and how you will be a better business owner and a better father and a better husband. Um, it will happen.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you, man.
Yeah,
You
brother.
are such a good dad. I love seeing you, play with your kids and be there and support your wife. And just want to say thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey. And just going to be super cool to see where you take this next year. So
Thank you, brother.
thank you thanks for taking the time today. And then for anybody who's listening to this, you're resonating with it, send me a message on Instagram or just click the link below, book a call, and would love to talk to you about how I can support you. Greg, you're the man.
You the man, brother.
There we go.